What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dustin's Vinyl. Put down the video game controllers and listen in on this music show where we talk about everything that's happening in vinyl music and bands and old bands and new bands and whatever band we want to talk about. Check us out. We're going to have a good time tonight. I hope you guys had a happy Super Bowl weekend. That was pretty weird. Super Bowl. I don't know. I've seen quite a few. Patrick Mahomes. I don't think it was a very good Super Bowl for him. I think we should use the Buccaneers defense to protect the Capitol. That was unbelievable watching that. Tom Brady, 43, and has won 7 Super Bowls. The other day, I threw out my shoulder putting on my T-shirt too fast. So very jealous of Brady and all the amazing stuff he's doing. The halftime show, it's a little for The Weeknd. I had to Google who that was, but apparently my girlfriend knew who it was. And I thought he did a decent job, and a lot of people, my co-hosts are going to come in and probably trash him. But I felt like it's very difficult to do, art and music and whatnot with no crowd. So basically, he's playing into a camera the entire time. Like he didn't have a crowd to feed off of. It's kind of like trying to be funny on Twitch. You know what I mean? It's very difficult. So my top 5 Super Bowl halftime shows, I'm going to do them real quick, and then we'll get into the show. Number 5 is Katy Perry. I thought she did a great job. Not my kind of music, but a phenomenal stage show. I thought it was a lot of fun. J-Lo and Shakira. Women that look like that in their late 40s and 50s. I'm sorry. That's always going to be a great show. U2, which I thought was pretty phenomenal with Bono and his American flag under his jacket. And Michael Jackson, which, you can't go wrong with MJ. That was a great job. And number 1 is always going to be Prince, who I thought was phenomenal. He, played Purple Rain in the Rain, which it was one of the greatest things I think I've ever seen in rock and any sort of show, a live show like that. And he was just like, literally started raining right when he was playing Purple Rain, and he's just playing it in there. So that was phenomenal. Hold on one second. So that was good music. It's so funny. I don't have my album that I was going to share today. But I'm going to go ahead and just say it without the actual album because it's in the living room because I got too flustered on CBD oil. But the album that I'm going to bring up today is Gary Clark Jr. is This Land. Hold on one second. Leah, can you grab me that album? No, she's gone. All right. So Gary Clark Jr., I got the hat on. I don't have the album, but it's in the other room. But anyway, this is a great album. It was a 2019 release. It has This Land, which is a very controversial song. If you get a chance, that song alone is worth it. I really love Gary Clark Jr. I feel like he oh, look at this. Thank you. My girl brought me the album. That's how high budget this show is. Thank you, Leah. So this is a great album. It's Gary Clark Jr. I think is one of the best living artists we have. He's really phenomenal. And this album is so cool, man. It's kind of like Curtis Mayfield, kind of with some Kendrick Lamar vibes. Like he really has a lot of different ranges of music on this album. And he can jam, man. This guy can get down. He's got like a Stevie Ray Vaughan thing going on. He's has an Austin, Texas city limits thing. So he's like always playing those kind of clubs, and that's kind of where he started. Seen the movie Chef with he's in that movie where he kind of gets the showcase. But get you this album. This is a great album. It's a double platinum, so you got plenty of music, and every song is a little bit different than the next, and so it's really a kind of just a nice variety of music. So Gary Clark Jr., This Land is a fantastic album. So I highly recommend it. And so that's that. That's my spiel up top. I'm going to bring in my co-hosts who know way more about music than I do. We're going to give it up for Jeffrey, Paul, and Adam Holtz, everybody. What's up, guys?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
How you doing? How hilarious was that? It's like, oh, I forgot the prop. So vinyl show with no vinyl. That was weird.
That looks like you on the album.
It does. I'm trying to steal his look. He's such a cool dude. Are you into him at all, you guys?
I've never heard of him, so I can't wait to check it out.
No, he's
Gary
great.
Clark. Right? Isn't he great? He's fantastic. He's such a cool dude. You'll really like him, Jeff. He's you like that bluesy stuff, and he's but he's very like it's bluesy, but then he also kind of is experimental as well, like spoken word stuff.
I'm probably going to listen to it as soon as this is done tonight.
Yes. And I think every white person should listen to This Land. Am I right, Adam? Like, it'll make you feel guilty. I'll tell you that. But it's a great tune. But yeah, he's cool. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we were texting back and forth during the halftime of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, since that day, I think my opinion on The Weeknd has kind of changed a little bit.
Okay.
I didn't think it. I think my initial thing, oh, this sucks. And then more I think about it, it really didn't suck. I kind of give him props, a lot of credit for not getting any special guests, doing it by himself, taking the whole, bull by the horns. I really like that. I wish he would sing live, but I understand why they don't let them sing live. They're afraid of any type of fuck up. But and the guy has a great voice, man. He really, really does. So I didn't think it was terrible. I'm not a huge Weeknd fan. I don't hate him, but
yeah, I don't see you wearing this concert shirt and going to the concert. But
listen, I am not going to a Weeknd concert. Let's not get that crazy.
If we ever bet on anything, that's going to be the bet wager that you have to wear a Weeknd shirt to a Weeknd concert.
I hate your list of top 5. I think the only one I agree with is I love the Prince choice.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
You didn't like U2?
It was okay. But the two most I hate the most was the Katy Perry one.
Katy Perry was phenomenal. Dude, she was great. It's not about the music. It's about the performance of that person. That's what
I hated about it.
I thought it was great. She's on a tiger. With the
shark.
Yeah, sharks dancing.
She's on a tiger because the song is named Raw. You get it?
Oh my God.
Wow. No.
All right, people, tell us what is a better list for. Tell us your top Super Bowl halftime shows. If anybody's out there in Twitch land, hit us. Go ahead. Keep going.
I thought, listen, that I hated, and
I loved it.
Shakira one I hated because
I loved it.
Oh,
it looked great. They did a great job. They did a good job. Shakira played guitar too, by the way. Like, that's pretty cool.
I love Shakira. I love her as an artist, but man, I hated that show. See, the shows that I liked the Stones when they performed. They played
3 songs, dude. They played 3 songs.
It's not it's in my top 5 because they played live. I thought Diana Ross was awesome. You can't go wrong with Diana Ross. She plays the hits.
I like Diana Ross. She's all right. Yeah, she's cool.
I thought Tom Petty was awesome.
I just don't like Tom Petty. I don't like Tom Petty as a solo artist.
I can't believe that.
Well, I've told you this many times. I'm not into it. I'm not into it.
I don't get it.
Dude, you're not into the Doors. That's one of my favorite bands. We all have a thing.
I hate the Doors.
It's no big deal. Okay. Adam, chime in, please, before we have like a death match. Go ahead.
All right. I got to throw in Springsteen in there too. I really like that one. I thought even with him sliding into the crotch first into the
crotch cam, yeah. He was good. It's, first of all, I think it's a very difficult thing to pull off in a short amount of time. And I feel like there's been some better ones, like Bruno Mars wasn't so bad. I think you guys didn't like that one. I didn't mind it because the Chili Peppers were on it. So, and I love it when they have special guests. I think that makes it more exciting. Just kind of.
Is that also the one with Beyonce?
I think so, yeah.
See, I didn't think you needed Beyonce. Yeah. I think Bruno Mars was enough. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to kind of like please everybody. And also, like, we had this conversation too. We were kind of texting back and forth where, I feel the band that they usually choose as of late for the past 5 years or whatever is about the people that aren't into football. They're trying to hit those people that are at the parties that, like, that's the only time they watch football. So they might be more into The Weeknd or a Katy Perry or something because, like a football fan, Yeah, it's like we want GNR would be amazing. It makes sense. Metallica makes sense because it's like what they're playing in the locker room. I mean, Tom Brady plays a Crazy Train as his pump up music, so that music makes sense for football. But I think it's a whole marketing thing.
Why couldn't you go with AC/DC, especially this year when they had a new album? Everybody knows who they are.
Because of what I just said. Because the guy at the party wants the Weeknd. He doesn't know who AC/DC is. Like, to him, it's just some old man band. He wants the hip, whatever's trending music, and that's what it's an advertisement game. That's what they're trying to get. They're trying to get the young guys.
Once you throw on "Shook Me All Night Long," it's going to pull everybody in. I think they're good on.
I understand that, and you're preaching to the choir. I'm just saying why they don't do AC/DC. They should. I've been saying that for years, and then I figured it out. They don't. They
have enough crossover appeal, though.
I don't think they do. If you don't know football, you probably don't know AC/DC. Like, if you're not into football, you probably don't dig AC/DC. That's a blanket statement, but I'm gonna go with it. Like, if you hate football, you're gonna hate AC/DC because those two things go together.
Who would be a rock band? Who would be a rock band that you think would be able to pull this off and be someone who the and also, Bon Jovi's been asked several times, has turned it down. They don't get paid for it. A lot of this is out-of-pocket expenses. Maybe if you have a new album that you're promoting, that's the reason why the Stones did it that year. Remember, they played a song off their new album, which was a mistake. But still,
nobody ever wants the new stuff,
right? Especially at the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, there's a lot of Today we're going to talk about the Foo Fighters. That would be a band like that would be good.
They would be really good.
Like that would make sense. I feel like they have maybe a little closer to a crossover appeal, but there's several bands probably that are just rock band. Like I said, rock music goes with football. Unfortunately, we never got to see Queen. I mean, how amazing would it have been if Queen would have done "We Will Rock You" at a Super Bowl halftime show? That would have been the most amazing thing ever. Did anybody chime in?
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah. So Jay Dizlot says Phil Collins was awesome. That was
what year was that?
2000.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that. That sounds. So
it's Phil Collins, Christina Aguilera, Enrique Iglesias, Tony Braxton.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Edward James Olmos is the narrator.
Was he was narrating the musical portion?
It was called
he's got a great voice.
He's
got a great voice. Yeah, Phil Collins, I bet that was hot. I mean, he's 2000. He was still probably playing. He had some arthritis or something. Like, he couldn't play drums or something. Didn't he have a medical condition? He couldn't play drums or something for the past few years?
But in 2000, he was fine.
2000, he was jamming out. Yeah, I mean, that would have been awesome.
And then we got, we got Maroon 5.
That's please.
I went out and got more tattoos because of that performance. Yeah. I want to look like that with my shirt off. I mean, I don't have the abs, but I got a few ink. Yeah.
And we got Bruno Mars and Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I thought that was fun. I liked it. Jeff, did you not like that one? Somebody in our text said they didn't like it. Was that you?
I liked it until I thought Beyonce was in it, and I'm not a big Beyonce fan.
I mean, come on. She's a closer, she knows what she's doing.
No, I'm not a big fan.
She put on Jackson. She put on Janet Jackson hat and went after it. I liked it.
I thought Janet Jackson was a good one.
Yeah, you pervert.
This one. 2001, Aerosmith and NSYNC.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't. What year was that? 2001.
2001.
I don't remember that one. I was drinking a lot back then, but I don't remember that. That's Aerosmith. I'm sure Aerosmith was cool. They probably played a couple of hits. If they did "Sweet Emotion" in an arena, I bet that was hot.
Yeah, let me see. They did. Let me see. What's
you have the
yeah, I got the list right here. They did. Oh Jesus.
I'm waiting to bring the show to a grinding halt.
Oh, stop it.
I don't want to miss a thing. I don't want to miss a thing. Bye, NSYNC. It's going to be me, NSYNC, Jaded, and then Walk This Way with Aerosmith, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly.
That's why I didn't like it. Right there. Right there. Thank you.
I mean, I prefer a little DMC with my Aerosmith, but they're experimenting. Like I said, that I don't mind when they trying to do a bunch of different genres of music. I think that's always interesting. I commend them for trying. I mean, NSYNC is what it is, but I at least they tried. It's fun. that's what it is. It should just be, and that's what it is, bringing people together. So you're bringing all kinds of music together. So I'm a big fan of people that try to do that. It doesn't always work out. That sounds like a bit of a fail, but anybody else before we start this fantastic show?
If AC/DC did a collaboration with Katy Perry, it would be a dope, dope halftime show.
I like Katy Perry.
No.
What about Lady Gaga? She did a good job too.
Oh yeah.
She did good. She like jumped off a thing and like you thought she was like, in midair. That was great. Like
what about
suspended in air?
What about the Who?
I have them on my list.
Interesting. I heard they kind of walked through that one. Like they kind of slammed the Who. I don't remember that one. What year was that?
That was 2010.
Oh, that wasn't that long ago.
No, and also remember, great stage production because they had all the lasers. But I thought performance-wise, I think
they were a little rusty.
Yeah, I think you're kind of right about that one.
You got to be, it's like you can't just pick it up where you left off. Like it's like, especially when
they did the hits. They did the hits.
Yeah, it's I mean, we're gonna talk about them today, but I feel like that's a good jump off point. Maybe we'll just get into it. But yeah, I think it's really about a set list. I like pop. Like I like female pop. So way more than you, I think. Like I think I'm okay with. I like Madonna. I think she's a trailblazer, and even when she's old, she's still awesome. Like I like her actually. She's dating like a 40-year-old, which is hilarious. It's like she's still getting it. I love that, man. I like Madonna. She can be in a bathtub. Yeah, I don't care. She can be all weird looking. I don't give a shit. She's Madonna, dude. She changed 80s music. Like she was fucking great.
All weird looking.
She's all right. I still remember I had that Playboy where she was naked. I'm a big fan. So, I go losing the women again. Every week I lose the women.
You can do a whole women show. You want to throw different artists in there? You could put Cyndi Lauper. She's great.
Did she do a halftime show?
I think if you teamed her up with a couple of artists. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that. I thought that was the only thing I missed from the weekend. Like I thought he was talented. I wasn't familiar with the music that much, but I did know a couple of songs. But I did feel I was waiting for somebody to come in. That's what feels weird is when you're watching a halftime show and there's not a surprise artist. Because I didn't know the Chili Peppers were coming in on Bruno Mars. They kept that a secret. And so it was just like they just showed up and Flea's like bouncing the bass and they came out of nowhere. And I thought that was really exciting. So
who would you have liked to have seen? Who would you guys like to have seen with the weekend? Who do you think would have been a nice compliment?
Who do you think? You go first.
I
Slash
think
or something. I don't know. Something fun. Somebody that can play guitar. You hate Slash?
No, I like Slash. I just don't want to ruin him. Jesus. I'm really on this whole thing about getting AC/DC out there because it's like, how many more years of AC/DC relevance is there going to be? I really would have loved to seen AC/DC on it.
It's not going to happen, dude. It's not going to happen. It's like, it's for the past few years, they're trying to get a different audience. And I think it feels like it's just too rock and roll for the Super Bowl now. Whoever's in charge of that, whoever that booker is that's their agenda, is to get, people that aren't into football into the halftime show. Because all those people talk through the whole game. And the only time they pay attention is the halftime show. So, and the commercials, which, so it's, like I said, I don't know if that's going to happen. I wish it would. I love this new album. I think AC/DC's great.
Do you have a Journey?
Journey with the new guy, I guess.
Yeah, he's great.
It's not Journey without Perry, but it's all right. The guy's good. It's karaoke, but it's still good music. They're still great live. But I think those bands have passed. I think kids aren't listening to that shit. It's like they're ask this Twitch audience, who do they want? Yeah, Twitch audience, who would you like who would make a great, besides what did they say, Katy Perry and AC/DC? Who else would make a great halftime show?
We got Happy Mischief says ZZ Top.
I'd love to see them.
I mean, I think those days are past. I mean, look at me. I love ZZ Top.
And they've never changed band members once.
And the music shows. It's a little kind of it's great. They're great. Okay. I'm kind of a pre-ZZ Top guy. Like I don't like anything. Eliminator, I kind of tap out. Like everything before that, I love. All that Texas kind of rock and just that old bluesy stuff. When they're a little bluesy and a little less poppy, I like ZZ Top. I mean, Eliminator is a perfect album. It's a Grammy thing. They won all that shit. But I just like the stuff before that. What is that? Deja Vu or something. I don't know. Forget the name of that album with
Did you
Nationwide.
like the song Legs?
Yeah, it's an okay album. That's what is that? Eliminator? That's Eliminator too, right?
Eliminator is a great album.
Yeah, it's not my thing. When I think of Texas blues stuff, I kind of want the earlier stuff, more Stevie Ray Vaughan, because that's what they sounded like before that, real bluesy stuff, and then that pop stuff, and they made their money and their flying car and all that shit. But it's not for me. I like the early stuff. Cool. All right, let's get to it. So what do we got today? Jeff, right. What's the featured album of the week?
Featured album of the week, man. We're going with the 5th studio album by The Who. And this is actually a listener's request. Who's Next came out in 1971, the summer of 1971. And the significance of this is the follow-up to Tommy. And this was also supposed to be a rock opera called, I think it was supposed to be called the Lifehouse. It's supposed to be called the Lifehouse Project. It never really got off the ground, but I think about 7 to 8 of the songs that are actually on Who's Next were songs that were earmarked to go on that album. And this is a different direction that the Who went in from Tommy, because they're really, really using synthesizers on this one. And the 2 songs that stand out where it's heavily synthed was Won't Get Fooled Again and Baba O'Reilly. They basically produced the album along with Glenn Jones, but this has Pete Townsend, fingerprints all over it. And for me, I think when you listen to this album from top to bottom, it's absolutely amazing. And the standout is I again went back, listened to this, you just forget how amazing a drummer that Keith Moon was. I mean, Bonham probably played the hardest, and then I think right behind him has got to be Keith Moon. I've never heard a guy play as hard as Keith Moon. What did you guys think about this album?
Go ahead, Adam. I'm typing something.
I mean, this is a stacked album, and I think if you went around the world and pretty much at any minute of the day, there's a classic rock station playing at least one of the songs off this album. And I mean, this is one of the first albums I got when I got my record player.
Hold it up a little bit, Adam.
Yep.
So people can kind of just see the album art, which is also kind of interesting. The only guy who actually peed on that wall was Townsend.
Yeah, this is a cool album. It's definitely, it's weird. It's like, a lot of these songs is like, I'm sure a lot of the people here just like if I say CSI, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like they sold a lot of their catalog. So it's, you kind of associate some of these songs with like TV shows and whatnot. I think they sold 2 songs to like CSI. Maybe like 3.
One was definitely We Won't Get Fooled Again.
Right.
Yeah. That was definitely off the south. But it's a good album. This is one of those albums that like, you don't think to listen to, because I think of like, the first Who album is as close to my heart. And I love Kids All Right because it's got like the whole catalog as well. And from the documentary, and it has all these cool songs. But it's good. I think I kind of did a top 5. I don't know if you guys want to do yours first. Go ahead, Jeff. What did you?
Okay, top 5.
Yeah.
Well, in no particular order, I really like Going Mobile. Mobile.
Mobile is like the instinct. The instinct is to say mobile.
Yeah. Going Mobile.
I'm surprised they didn't sell that song to like Verizon like
why don't they sell it to a mobile home manufacturer, because that's what the song's about. It celebrates the coolness of just like traveling, being out in the open road. But here's the cool thing about this song. I love Roger Daltrey, but no Roger on this one. This one was just recorded as a 3-piece. It's a power trio. This is it's definitely Pete's song. And what's cool about it is Pete also plays like a really nice wah-wah pedal on the guitar lead. I thought it was really good. And you know what? It seemed like the one song that he's really having fun with, because there's even like a line in there where he's just kind of like it's not a written lyric, but he just goes beep beep, and he's just like having a good time with the song. So I'd say one of my top 5 songs off this album is Going Mobile.
Nice. How about you, Adam? What's your song? What's one of your songs?
I would say my top song off this album is "Won't Get Fooled Again." I mean, it's just a timeless rock masterpiece, and
what a great song.
You know, for everything that changes, nothing changes, and just, you know, get your guitar and play, and it's such an incredible. It's just such an incredible song.
Yeah, meet the old boss, same as the old.
One of the greatest ending lines.
Same the old boss. Yeah, what an amazing line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so amazing too. Just all the organ work on these songs. Like, you know, at first it starts to bug me, and then I start to really get into, you know, it's kind of like, well, I can see why one would not like the Doors. It's like sometimes after a while there's just way too much organ, but I think they do a good job, you know, with kind of spreading it out in the songs. But then sometimes you don't even know if it's a guitar or the organ. Like I had to literally kind of see, is that a guitar or is that an organ? Like it's some cool weird organ that they used that has like a repeat. It has like a repeat thing on it, and it was like a repeat option, and so that's why it's like literally almost like a Casio, where you have like I mean, it was way before that time, but it's literally a button that you can push and it'll repeat the loop. And so I think that's that cool thing at the beginning. It's literally just a button.
That's the beginning of Bob O'Reilly, right? Is that what you're referring to?
I think it was off this one as well. It's actually, you know what? You might be right. Yeah. I don't know. Half these songs, I feel like there's that weird organ thing that's happening throughout the song, but definitely good. And I feel like this song is very Who sounding, whereas I feel some of the album gets a little hippie and a little kind of like a different. You tell they're departing a little bit on their sound. You know, it's funny because they're known for like crashing their instruments. I don't think they could have done that with this album. Like this album doesn't have, I'm going to break my guitar vibe to it, you know, like My Generation and stuff.
Well, they used to, on their closer was always we won't get fooled again, and that's what they were.
Oh, they did. Okay,
they would. You know, I want to throw this at you guys. John Entwistle, the bass player, who was considered the quiet one, had a great line that was quoted in some magazine, and he said, "We couldn't make records as good as the Beatles, but we could blow them off the stage," and he was referring to this song. You know, this was like their big song. And for years, this is what I mean. Have you guys ever seen The Who live?
No,
I have not.
Okay, I've seen them a couple of times, and this was always like the song. You know, this is what we're waiting for. I had another song that I really like. I really like Bargain as well.
Yep.
I think I really like the back and forth between Daltrey, who sings the verses, and Townsend, who sings the bridge. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm getting mixed up with Bob O'Reilly. Bargain is the love song. It's the love song that about God. It's not a song about a woman. It's about God. And I think the line that really stands out is like, "I gladly lose me to find you. I gladly give it all up I had to find you." He's really. Townsend wrote this song, and at the time, he's very, very influenced by an Indian mystic. You know, he's into that whole Indian scene, kind of like the way Zeppelin was when they did the Middies thing, and they did Kashmir a couple of years later.
The Beatles were into that stuff too, you know, George Harrison. Right. Yeah, so
I guess all these great bands kind of like go through that influence. But
it's called drugs. Yeah. When you do the right kind of drugs, you find out where the source is, and then you just go to all their mystical stuff. Yeah.
But I think with Bargain, I think what really holds this song together is Entwistle, who could probably be in the top 5 all-time bass players. He's just so effortless and all over the fret, and just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely great. I like My Wife. I think that's a good one.
That's the ultimate Entwistle song. Yeah.
Yeah, and he does everything in that: vocals, bass, horns. Like they kind of let him shine in that song. Like he's kind of like his, you know, Peter Criss, like Beth. You know, he gets to have his moment. You know. But I like his voice. Like I love Daltrey, but I feel like that's, you know, it's nice when you hear somebody else in the band's voice, and
I love that.
And I think sometimes too, it's like, you know, people don't realize, you know, how good some of the other people in the band's voice is. You know, that happens so many times. I remember Gene Simmons was talking about Kiss, and how Gene Simmons of Kiss was talking about Van Halen, and he was talking about, what's the bass player's name?
Michael Anthony.
He was saying about how great his voice was and his
Absolutely.
harmonies, and it was just like, you know, and you never hear that because, and that was the big, I think that was the big complaint that people had when Eddie's kid came in, that he couldn't sing, you know, like that and whatever. So it's just nice when somebody who's like known for bass playing or known for something else, they have a moment to shine in the song or a band or you know, the whole thing. I don't know. I just enjoy that. Somebody
100% right on that.
Gets to. The Eagles were good at that too. You're just like, oh, that guy can sing. I had no idea.
They all could sing. Yeah. They never really gave Don Felder a chance to sing. But I saw Don Felder a couple of times solo, and he sang just as good as anyone in that band.
Did he do heavy metal? Is that the song he did?
He did. Yes, he did that as a solo.
He wrote
artist.
that. He wrote that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but he wrote probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Eagles song, "Victim of Love." And he wrote it. He wrote everything about it. He was supposed to sing it, and behind his back, they recorded the vocal with Henley.
Okay, yeah,
and that started the bridge between the Eagles.
Yeah, he got the shaft on that band, but man, what are you gonna do? What else? You got anything from the Twitchers?
See,
like, no, it's like the Who. We checked out. Talk about the Weekend. Katy Perry.
Do people like the Who? No one actually has anything to say about the Who.
No, and you're listening. And you're a Facebook person. I gave him shit. I was like, okay, if you're gonna recommend us cover an album, you better listen in on the show. Right. Like that, you know, don't be getting on Jeff's Facebook page and saying, yeah, cover this album and then be MIA. Like we want to, you know, if we're gonna do your album, then come on, show up on the show. I don't know who that was.
Realize that Behind Blue Eyes is on this album too. I mean, we've talked about.
That's a good song. Yeah,
we've talked about 4 or 5
That's my
songs.
honorable mention. Yeah, that's my honorable mention. That's a good one.
But look how deep this album goes. We've talked about 4 or 5 songs already before bringing up Behind Blue Eyes. You know, I don't know, man. I think you were right at the beginning. It's like it's something that you probably haven't listened to in years, and then someone turns you on to it and say, "Hey, listen to it again." And you do, and you're like, "Holy shit, this is really, really good."
Yeah, it's definitely, and like I said, it's you know, it's experimental in a lot of ways, and you know, because when I think of the Who, I think of some of the earlier stuff, Tommy, and even before that. So, and yeah, it's good. Definitely check it out. What else we got? Getting in Tune I liked. I thought that was a good song. I thought that was probably my number 5 song, but I thought that was.
You like deep cuts, man, don't you?
Yeah, I like jamming songs, and I like the
a lot of tempo changes on this one.
Tempo change, yeah, I love that, and I love kind of the character work almost in songs. Like a lot of bands we've been covering have like Queen and different kind of where they build and go different places, and I love that. I think out of
all the songs on this album, I could see this one have been going on Tommy, especially like the line getting in tune to the straight and narrow. Reminds me so much of like the way he sings it reminds me of like a Tommy tune.
Also, when was Tommy? 69? And that was like something like that?
Yeah, this was 71. Yeah,
this was 71. Okay.
2 years earlier. Yeah. Getting in Tune is a cool song. This was also one of those songs that were tapped to go on the Lifehouse project. I think Moon is great on this one as well. His fills on this one are just like, and the thing is, you listen to like, everyone gives Ringo shit about being a bad or average drummer. I think he's a great drummer. And
I would say great. I would say got the job done. He showed up. He was like a solid road comic. Like he got the job done. I wouldn't say it was great. It was no Dave Chappelle happening, but he was
Bonham.
Solid.
He's not Bonham. He's not Moon, but he does little things that like a common drummer, like in a song like My Life. Okay. Like would like kind of like just play the beat. He stretches it out just a little bit to give it a little space, a little bit of air. And when you hear that song, that's what that song needs in that in the rhythm section of it. I wish I had a drum kit in front of me so I could show you the difference and play it for you. But I think he always gets the shaft. I think he's a very underrated drummer. Ringo.
I think he did okay.
He did better than Pete Best. Let's put it that way.
I think he did all right. Like Jeff and I always do it because Jeff loves that phrase underrated, and I hate it because I'm like, dude, if you have 5 houses, you're not underrated. I don't care what like 3 critics said about you. Like if you made a gazillion dollars and everybody knows who you are, and you got to do your craft and work your art, you're not underrated.
Well, that's
the underrated is the guy at Arlene's Grocery that can't get a gig, right. Like the guy that can't get a record label. That guy's underrated.
That's my problem. You're right. It's like, yeah, I would. If I was Ringo, I'd care what the critics said about me. I wouldn't sit there and say, "Well, I have 5 houses. I'm in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice."
Exactly.
I'm fucking underrated.
I don't think he's underrated. I don't think that's not underrated, bro. He's married a supermodel. He's fine. Like,
yeah, he did all right in life.
a Bond girl, right? You told me that.
Yeah. Who's not underrated is Tom Brady. I don't think he's underrated.
Are we gonna go back to football? I'll go back to football.
What did you guys think about The Song Is Over? Did you like that song?
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Okay.
And I'd say I put that right behind Won't Get Fooled Again and Behind Blue Eyes, and that one too I think is a Lifehouse leftover, especially at the end. If you, I don't know if you've heard the bonus tracks on this. Which
explain the Lifehouse. I know I read a little bit about it.
It's been a while since I read about it, but I remember it was an abandoned concept. I think it was a multi-day concert they wanted to do that centered around this one note, but it was a very communal kind of event that they were trying to put together.
Okay. That's some 70s hippie shit right there.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Listen to the bonus tracks. Pure and Easy is a great song, and it's actually referenced on Song Is Over, and it is very hippie-ish.
Nice. Yeah, there was definitely some, but that's the thing. You hear some strong Who music in this, and then you get some stuff like, oh, okay, they did Opium for that song.
Right.
Like there's certain times. Baba, am I saying it right? Baba O'Reilly?
Baba O'Reilly.
Baba. Okay. I was thinking it was Barbara and they left out the R, but Baba Booey. I enjoyed that song. I thought the weird organ was a big part of that song, kind of like
that's
looping
the song
around.
that everybody thinks is called Teenage Wasteland.
Yeah, they were really smart. The Ramones were smart too. There's a few bands too. Actually, a lot of like early 50s bands were smart with this kind of like mention to teenagers in their music. And I think it's automatic. Like it's almost like, and they're older dudes at some of the points in life when they're, producing this music, but they're still kind of referencing teenage life. And I think it's such a smart thing to do to kind of like, I'm not saying they did it on purpose or whatever but it's like almost this hook to get, young people into your stuff. Like it's like an interesting thing where it's just like there's a lot of teenage angst in their music. Even when they're in their 40s, they're doing music about, this angst of being a teenager. So it's like kind of, my generation is obviously about that, that kind of, I don't know. I just think it's just, I don't know. It's a rebel cry to teenagers that they respond to. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of. That's kind of right.
Kind of right. My generation's not about like what are you fucking kidding me? Kind of right. No. I say a nice poignant thing about like this band's mantra, and I get kind of right. Listen to my generation and don't tell me that's not about teenage angst. What do you got to do on this show to get that? Jeff's brutal. Jeff is brutal, guys. I'm not reading anything, by the way. I'm just saying, from the heart, baby.
Because I'm thinking of that song, my generation. And like, when you write that song, can you be in your 70s and still sing it? That's what I think
so. I think so. I think so. I mean, every band gets older and sings. I mean, what about? I'm sure Alice Cooper's singing "School's Out" or whatever.
It's an anthem, baby. That's an anthem.
So is my generation. I'm just saying, why can he sing that song and the Who can't sing the generation in their 70s?
Because he's not saying, I hope I die before I get old.
Well, I think they wanted to die. It just didn't happen. I mean,
I think you're right. I really didn't. I don't think they were going to live that long.
Most of those guys didn't think that. It's like they didn't think, It's like they just and age seemed different back then. You know what I mean? What's the Beatles song? 65. When I'm 65 or whatever.
I'm 64.
64. When I'm close. At least I was a one off.
Right.
When I'm 64. But that seemed like Jeff, you're almost 64. Like that seemed, but that seemed I am too. But that seems so old back then. And so it's just funny like how things are different. Like I was funny back to Brady. I was you'll probably know this, Jeff. You have all this stuff in your head. But there's a football player. I think he might have played for the Saints. I don't forget, but he was. I guess they have a picture of him. He played in his 40s, like 43. They have him playing at age 43, and they have a picture of him, and they have a picture of Brady at 43, and it looks like Brady's his son. Like it's funny how life was harder on a 40-year-old, back in.
Are you thinking about Morton Anderson? Mort Anderson?
Maybe I saw something today.
Yeah,
I forget.
He played well into his 40s.
I think. Yeah, 48. I think
he's also a kicker.
Yeah, it's true. You're not getting tackled. That's the thing. It's like there's not a 300-pound man trying to tackle you. That's when everybody says, like, was he really the greatest of all time? I'm like, yeah, because he's taken hits in his 40s. I mean, look how bad Jordan was in his 40s, and he wasn't taking hits. So
still putting up over 25 points a game, even with the Wizards. He was averaging over 30.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't winning rings. Let's just put it that way.
He also didn't have Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant and Bill Cartwright with him either.
Well, Brady did it without Belichick. So it's like you could go all day with this back and forth. It's like, people like to say that's why Brady was winning stuff. And so Brady figured out a way to do it and that team was stacked, but I don't think that team was, as far as underrated goes, I think that team was kind of under the radar. Like, people didn't realize what they were getting into with that team. And you nailed it last week about the defense. I mean, that Buck defense just showed up.
Yeah, well, the guy, the defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, he's the guy who should have gotten the MVP if you can give it to a coach, because he did great. He is the most creative, blitz. He comes up with these great schemes that, and also, listen, it helps when you have your line is Vita, Ndamukong Suh, JPP coming off the edge, and Shaq Barrett coming off the other edge. You can't double team everybody. And even if you double team two of them, you have two other guys who are going to put pressure either up the middle or that's going to come off the sides.
And then you got a former Steeler, Leftwich, which called a great game. So,
he did called a great game.
Great game. All right, Adam, let's that's the Who. Get you some Who. Who's next? Great album. And we have a new album that premiered. What's this week or?
It was Friday, and it's perfect timing because this band just got nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And this is the Foo Fighters with Medicine at Midnight.
Foo Fighters. Could we get that when you get a chance, Jay? If you could throw that up, be great. What'd you guys think of this album? I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Me too. I thought it was a solid album. This is, I think Dave Grohl said this is their party album, or he actually called it a disco album. And said he was, I guess they were influenced by David Bowie's Let's Dance and a little bit of Prince. But I mean, really, it's a solid album. It's consistent, but it sounds, even if they start to change their sound a little bit, it still sounds like Foo Fighters all the way through.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. That was fun. This was not a pandemic album. I thought it was. I thought it was something that was made in the pandemic.
Yeah, it's just like, right before,
like Paul McCartney's or whatever. Yeah, they just it was 36 minutes long, which I didn't think you could do that. It's amazing. I thought I always think it has to be a little longer, in my opinion. I don't know. That's just from doing road comedy for so long, and you're on stage and somebody says, you didn't do 45, you only did 42, So, like in my head, it's like an album has to be a certain length or whatever, but I guess it doesn't. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I'm not a huge Foo Fighters guy. Like I don't go out of my way to listen to the Foo Fighters. I like I love the story of the band. I love it that, what he did with the band. It was the drummer Nirvana, and then created this great, rock band. And I love his drummer, by the way. I think that's one of the most,
Taylor Hawkins.
Taylor Hawkins. He's a great drummer, man. That guy, needs to be
absolutely
in those conversations a little more. But that was good. It was a feel good album. I'm trying to think of the songs that I liked on it. It was kind of I didn't have a lot of time to really take this album in. I thought my favorite was the last song. It was my favorite.
Oh, Love Dies Young.
Yeah, I thought that was the best rock song of the album. Like I really kind of had a mantra feel to it. I really enjoyed it. What do you think, Jeff?
It's going to be sacrilegious, but I am not a big Foo Fighters fan.
Sacrilegious.
And when it comes to evaluating new albums, I like to give it a chance to breathe. I like to give it a little bit of time before I can make any kind of declarative statement on whether I think it's great or not. I think it does it stand the I just need to like to soak it in a lot more. Initially, I mean, it's good. Like you said, I love Taylor Hawkins. He's the most fun drummer to watch.
The drumming on this is great. Really good.
Travis Barker. Those are like two really fun drums to watch. But I think Grohl's voice is okay. It always sounds like the same to me. I'm not a huge Foo Fighters fan, but I love that they're a rock band that plays their music, that writes their songs, that they don't auto-tune. So it's okay. It's not. I'm not going out of my way for the Foo Fighters, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they have a formula that they kind of stick to, and it works.
There you go.
It works.
That's
they're a phenomenal live band, and that's really. I was reading one review where it said that these were songs that you could take a bathroom break to during their concerts. But I don't know. I think these songs fit in with a lot of their other albums, a lot of their bigger hits, and I think it's gonna be pretty good to see these live. These are definitely arena style hard rock songs.
There was some deep songs. Waiting on a War. I thought
that was a great one. Yeah,
it was a pretty deep song. A lot of commentary in that song. So I enjoyed it. I don't judge art like I used to, because it's like once you've been banging around as an artist yourself, you realize how hard it is to do stuff and to come up with new material and, it's like produce something new, when it's like a lot of people can sit on their laurels and like just their first couple of albums and, they're trying to do something, and I enjoyed it because I felt like there was a little bit of variety in this album. You could tell they were taking a few risks. So, and that was a good song.
Yeah, especially with Shame and, Medicine
that was
Midnight,
which was one of their singles, right?
Yeah, they did that on SNL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a little bit of a Bowie vibe, I think, with Medicine at Midnight, especially.
Yeah, it was good. Shame. I thought that was pretty cool. It was a cool intro in that one. I like that one. That was a single also. Yeah, it was good. Like you said, Jeff, it's like you got to like take it in a little more. But
But I also think your evaluation of it is really right on point with them, Dustin. We don't always agree on everything, but I really pretty much to the letter. I agree on your assessment on the Foo Fighters and this album.
Yeah, it's like we have to be a little gentle sometimes. They're not all going to be Mona Lisas. So sometimes you got to just let the band. At least they're doing new stuff. I think that's really the key to art and live music. And people just as an artist, it's like, and those artists too are so tired of doing the same songs over and over. So it breathes life into a band when they do a new album because they get so excited, and that's why they go on tour and they promote it. And it's like, cause it just gives them life again. Cause nothing worse. I think that Kinnison line was just like, he was just saying like certain artists had to die because there's no way they'd want to sing the same songs over and over. Like, it's like, I forget what it was. It was something.
I also think this is kind of an interesting thing is like, we were talking beforehand that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations came out and Foo Fighters for induction. And if they get in, Dave Grohl will be in with Nirvana and with Foo Fighters. Is there anybody else that you can think of who, not as a solo artist, but in two different bands have been inducted? I mean, everyone will say McCartney and Wings, but McCartney and Wings is still just McCartney. I don't look at Wings, as like he's part of the band. It's his band. But I really think Foo Fighters is Pat Smears. It's the bass player from Sunny Day Real Estate. It's Taylor Hawkins. I think they're a real band.
Dave Grohl is the Tom Brady of of rock and roll. I mean, he doesn't age. He did it. Great. He doesn't age. He did it with two different teams. Like, he's
different instruments. I mean,
he was a drummer. I mean, what kind of drummers? Like, how many drummers get to be the front man? That doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, Phil Collins.
He was always drums though. He stayed drums. You know, like he stayed playing drums. You know, I don't think Grohl. I mean, he's guitar and everything now. Like maybe once in a while he'll get. I'm sure he gets back there on a live show. I haven't seen him live. Does he? Does he get back and does he drum a little bit or
Grohl?
no?
No.
Yeah.
No.
That would be fun. I'm just saying that's kind of a fun live thing to do. Let me get on drums but
you know when he did it, Dustin?
Yeah.
He's good friends with the singer of Queens of the Stone Age.
Okay.
And if you ever watch the video for No One Knows, which is a great song, No One Knows, he's the drummer on that, and he's in the video for them as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He drummed for Joan Jett when they did the Nirvana tribute thing. That was amazing. I really loved it. I'd like to see that again and go down that. That concert was great.
Yeah, she did a great job on that.
Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah, it was great. She did great. She sounded great. She had perfect voice for that. Because it's hard to fill in for him. You know, he had such a kind of haunting voice, but she did a good job. What do we got new this week? What else? What's happening? Talk to me.
All right. Well, we got the Pretty Reckless with Death by Rock and Roll 2 LP coming out on Friday. So that's gonna be a pretty big one.
Yeah, this is a band that I don't know much about. I'm not gonna act like I'm a cool guy and I know this band because I don't. But I did find them. I do Spotify searches sometimes, and just to see what's out there. And I found this band and I really enjoyed them. I kind of went to some of their videos, and they're sexy and fun, and they have kind of a groove, kind of a dark lounge sound. I really dig them, man. I think they're rock and roll, and it's so nice to hear something that I don't know and I'm not familiar with, but it still kind of has a sound that I like. And so, yeah, I enjoy this band. I'm excited for this band. I hope they do good things. This should be a big album because I think it's really not a whole lot out there. It's brand new, Yeah. I know they've been out a little while, but this seems to be their breakout. So
yeah, and they're getting a lot of buzz on it too. So it should be pretty cool.
And also, Adam has a lot of money invested in this band, so people check him out, please.
Bitcoin and Pretty Reckless. That's where all my money is.
Oh yeah, Bitcoin is killed.
Out of GameStop already, Dustin. You're done.
Nah, I'm not good with that stuff. You'll have to help me with money, Jeff. I'm terrible with that shit. I put my money in. Yeah, real estate. Yeah, well, okay, it's easy. Yeah, okay, easy when you have real estate. This is real estate. Oh, okay, all right. I'm still doing firehouses. So anyway, and elk lodges. That's my live shows.
We got the new Weezer album. It's coming out on vinyl. Okay Human, a play on OK Computer, but I've heard a little bit. They're going more towards the Beach Boys than Radiohead, and it's and they have an orchestra backing them. So
sweet,
pretty interesting.
That's going to be our part 2 album, right? Next week we'll all listen to it.
Pretty Reckless.
Oh, we'll do Pretty Reckless, and then we'll do that one. Okay, cool.
Yep. We're still going to be talking about Pretty Reckless.
Oh, we got to.
We're doing the album. You give it a chance, Jeff. This is a good band. I don't like your attitude.
We got Jay Dizalot saying
old white guys. We gotta like switch it up a little.
I got a good record for next week.
Okay,
it's anything but old white guys.
All right, thank God.
Yes.
Let's see. We got
old black women, but you're gonna like it.
Yeah. I do for Black History Month. Just so everybody knows.
I want to check out. That looks very interesting.
This is very
Dustin Chafin album. Yes,
you're gonna like it. It's good stuff. And he looks nothing like me, just so you know.
Gary Clark Jr., right?
Right. Yes. Gary Clark Jr. Yeah.
Writing that down right now.
Anything else, Adam?
Yeah, we got some comments here, and
let's go.
All right, so. Oh, where should I start here? We got
nothing mean.
Okay,
I can't have a 16-year-old making fun of me. So,
all right. So Jay Dizalot says, "New Weezer, hell yeah!" And cool. Check out our second episode we talked about Weezer Pinkerton.
Yes,
so check that out on YouTube.
That was a cool album. I got into Weezer off of that album. Like these guys were right about Weezer. I was on the fence because I never really got into them. They were great. They're great. They're a good band.
And then we got, let's see. He also said weed stocks now. So that's where everybody's putting their money into, weed stocks.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, because it's like once it gets legalized and then it's like, I might open a comedy club. Yeah, called 2 Puff Minimum.
Right. And then McSkin says, if you got the money, here's some stocks to put into SNDL. That's a weed stock, OGI, and Tilray. Actually, SNDL, Sundial.
What is that?
Pretty well today. I think it's a weed company.
Oh, it's a weed company. Like they make
they're
cookies and
that,
stuff, or what?
Yeah, they're one
CBD
that
oil.
no, actual. I think they're actual growers. I think it's Sundial
okay.
Growing, but
Okay.
they're another one that Reddit is really pushing right now.
That's so cool. I love that whole vibe.
Yeah,
they're trying to take down the man.
I put some money into AMC at 9. It's at 5 now, but you know,
save the movie theaters.
Yeah, I'll
if
hold it
that's-
long.
that's-
Cool.
Yeah, that's not the way it's supposed to work, Adam.
I know. No,
Good for
actually,
you,
I
Adam.
have a
Don't listen to
lot
him.
of good. I have a lot of good investments. I had to throw some money into it. I'll hold it for a while, but
I like it.
yeah, you know, it's yeah, you're right. You got to save the movie theaters.
And save the record stores, guys.
Definitely save
All
the
right.
record stores.
Thank you so much. So get out and get you some vinyl. Today's albums, Gary Clark Jr., This Land, and Who's Next by The Who and the Foo Fighters. What was that one called? Medicine
at Midnight.
Medicine at Midnight. So check that out. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Comedy Hub. And keep listening to vinyl. Keep it alive.
Be well, guys.
That's a static on a record.